Hello friend, in today's video we will learn how we can simulate the theft detection project by using Raspberry Pi in Proteus software. So in this project we will learn how to create the programming for this project, and the main important part of this project is when the PIR sensor detects the person, then automatically live image is captured and that live image is sent on the user mail ID. So it is very interesting and amazing project. So please watch this complete project so you will get idea about each and everything. So before start this project, I would like to tell you the different chapter present in this video. So first chapter is the final demonstration of this project. Second chapter is how to install the software for this project. Third chapter is how to create this Proteus simulation in your laptop. And fourth chapter is how to run this project. So please watch this complete video so that you will get idea about each and everything. So before start the next part, I request you please subscribe my channel. You can see currently I have 665 subscriber and 1348 watch hour. So to verify my channel on the YouTube, I require 1000 subscriber and 4000 watch hour, and this only possible because of you. So please support me. Please click on the subscribe button. Also click on the bell icon so that you will get notification. So once you click on the subscribe button, it is also beneficial for you because you can see I have uploaded more than 30 to 40 video on Raspberry Pi, and video is starting from the LED till the IoT. So if you want to learn Raspberry Pi from me in the free, so you can subscribe my channel and please watch my all video. All video link given in the description. Now before start the actual hardware implementation of this project, first we will see what are the different types of software you will require for this project. So first software you will require is Proteus 8 Professional. So Proteus 8.9. So if you want to download the Proteus 8.9 software, please go to the YouTube and search Proteus 8.9 software, and you will find many video. Download any Proteus 8.9 software. Now second is VSPE. So this how to install this VSPE, and third one is Python 3.9 also you will require. So how to install this VSPE Python 3.9 I have already explained in my face mask detection using Raspberry Pi video. I will give this video link in the description. So from this video there is one chapter, software installation process. So please watch that chapter, and once you watch that chapter you can easily able to install the Python also VSPE software in your laptop. This software is very important. So this is the first part. Now second part is it is very important to have all this library serial, then CV2, then all this library. How to install that library I have already explained in my this face mask detection project. So it is very important to watch this project. Okay, a very important package is import serial, but and how to install that package I have already explained in my face detection project. But many students having difficulty from this serial package, because when they are trying to run this project, they got error like serial package or serial library not found. So I can show you that error also, like this is one Google, and here you can see this guy also facing that problem. And how to install that problem I will tell you here. Let's say you have installed the latest Python version, and if you don't want that error like import serial package error, then you should install the PySerial library instead of serial. So how to install that PySerial library? First go to the CMD. So once you go to the CMD, just type here pipe3 install PySerial. And once you type this, press enter, and as soon as you press enter, the PySerial library get installed in your laptop. And after that you have to just replace this serial by PySerial. Here you have to give PySerial, then here also you have to give the PySerial everywhere. And once you give the PySerial, then this serial import library error you will not face. In my laptop this serial is work. If this serial is work in your laptop, then this step is not important. If serial is not work in your laptop, then you have to install PySerial and replace serial by the PySerial. And this is the basic idea. And this solution already explained in the Stack Overflow. I will add this link of this article in the description, and you can see there is already some solution provided by the many programmer. So you can apply the solution to avoid that error. So okay, so you require serial, you require CO2 and all this library. And how to install that library I have already explained in my this face mask detection video, so it is very important to watch this video. Okay, now the next part is how. Okay, now we will see how to create the Proteus simulation, like this simulation in your laptop. So first you require Proteus 8.1 software. Just right click on this software and go to run as administrator. Then click on yes. So once you click on yes, then click on the new project. Then give your project name here like theft detection. Then provide the path. Then click on next. Then click on create template. Then click on do not create a PCB layout. Then create a firmware project. Go to the this family and select Raspberry Pi here. Then you can see compiler is Python 3. So you require Python 3 in your laptop. Then click on next and click on finish. So once you click on finish, you can see there are two windows will open. First window is schematic capture and second window is source code. So in source code window we will write our code, and schematic capture we will design our circuit. So you can see Raspberry Pi already there. So first part is we will see the how to create a circuit for the LCD. So if you want to select the LCD, go to the component mode, then click on P and type here 16x2. So once you type 16x2, you can see this LCD you have to select and click on OK and place that LCD here. So once you place that LCD, the next part you have to connect RS and enable pin and then RW pin. Then RW pin first connect to the ground. Go to the terminal mode, then click on default and select the ground from here and place the ground here and connect the ground to ground. Next RS pin should be connected to GPIO4 of Raspberry Pi. So go to terminal mode, click on default pin and place the default pin here. Then right click on the default pin, rotate anti-clockwise, place that pin in front of RS pin, copy this pin again, right click on this pin, go to the copy to clipboard, right click on this pin, paste here in front of enable, same copy and paste here in front of D4, then copy, paste in front of D5, right click, paste in front of D6, right click, paste and in front of 7. So after that connect one by one, this one to this, then enable to this one, then D4 to this one, D5 to this one, D6 to this and D7 to this. After that double click on RS pin, and this RS pin should be connected to GPIO4 of Raspberry Pi. So give here name GPIO4. Click on OK. Now enable pin should be connected to GPIO70 of Raspberry Pi. So double click on this pin, give your name GPIO70. Then next pin is D4. D4 should be connected to 18. Next D5 should be connected to 27. Then D6 should be connected to 22 and D7 should be connected to 23. So connect that pin one by one. So D4 should be connected to GPIO 18. Then D5 should be connected to GPIO 27. Then D6 should be connected to GPIO 22. Then D7 should be connected to GPIO 23. So in this way we have completed the LCD part of this circuit. Okay, now next part is we have to connect the buzzer. So if you want to take the buzzer, go to the component mode, then click on P and type here buzzer. So once you type buzzer, you have to select this DC operated buzzer via sound card. Click on OK and place that buzzer here. So once you place that buzzer, then first part is double click on this buzzer and give here operating voltage as 5 volt. Then click on OK. Now go to this generated mode, then click on DC and place the DC pin here, DC supply here. Connect one pin of buzzer to DC supply. Double click on the DC supply and give here voltage 5 volt. Click on OK. Now next part is you have to connect the next part of this buzzer to NPN transistor. So go to the component mode, then click on P and type here NPN. So once you type NPN, you have to select any NPN transistor. So I have selected this one. You can select this one also, generic NPN bipolar transistor. Click on OK and place the transistor here. Now first this part of NPN should be connected to here, and this next part of NPN transistor should be connected to ground. So go to the terminal mode and click on ground and place that ground here. and connect this part to here. Now this part of NPN should be connected to Raspberry Pi pin. So go to the again terminal mode and click on default and place the default pin here. Now connect this pin to here. Now buzzer pin of this NPN transistor should be connected to GPIO 6. So double click on this pin and give your name GPIO 6 and click on OK. Now next part is we have to take the PR sensor. So how to install the PR sensor, that is very important part. So first you have to go to this PR sensor Proteus library folder, and I will give this folder through the Google Drive link. So double click on this folder and copy all these 3 files. So once you copy all these 3 files, go to the C drive, then go to the labs program files 86. Then after that go to the labs and electronics. Then after that go to this Proteus 8 professional. Then go to the data and go to the library and paste whatever you have copied, paste that file here. So once you paste that file, it is very important to restart your Proteus software. So first save this software, close this software, again restart this software. So once you restart, go to the component mode, then click on P and type here PIR. So once you type PR sensor, you can see PR sensor will print here. Click on OK and place that sensor here. So once you place, right click on this sensor, rotate 180 degree. So once you rotate 180 degree, you can see the pins are here. So first pin is ground pin, should be connected to ground. So go to the terminal mode, then click on ground and place that ground here. Connect this ground to ground. Out pin should be connected to Raspberry Pi pin. So go to the again terminal mode, click on default and place that default pin here. Right click on this pin, rotate 180 degree and connect this pin to here. VCC should be connected to generator mode power supply. So go to generator mode, click on DC and place the DC pin here. Connect the DC pin to here. Double click on this pin and give here voltage 5 and click on OK. Now this point of this pin, there it is connected, it should be connected to Raspberry Pi GPIO 5. So double click on this pin and give here name GPIO 5 and click on OK. Now test pin of this PR sensor should be connected to logic state. So go to the component mode, click on P and give here name logic state. So once you type logic state, select this one, click on OK and place that logic state here so that you can easily change input to this PR sensor. Now next part is you have to load the hex file into PR sensor. So double click on this PR sensor, go to this folder and go to the downloaded folder and select this .hex file, click on open and click on OK. So in this way PR sensor circuit is completed. Now next part is you have to connect the COM pin. That is the use of COM pin is that when the PR sensor detect the input, Raspberry Pi has to send the one signal to COM pin, and that one signal, that is a signal or any signal, that should be received to the Python program, this Python program, and once the Python program detect this signal, then it will capture the image and send on the user mobile number, user mail ID. So to send the data from this Proteus to Python program, we will use serial communication, and for the serial communication we require the COM pin. So go to the component mode, click on P and type here COM pin. So once you type COM pin, select OK and place that COM pin here. So once you place COM pin, you have to connect the RxD pin to Raspberry Pi RxD pin. Then TXD pin should be connected to Raspberry Pi TXD pin. So go to the terminal mode, click on default, place that default pin here. Right click on this pin, connect here. Again go to the terminal, click on default pin, then TXD pin, connect here the TXD. So RxD should be connected to TXD. So double click on this pin and give here name TXD. And TXD should be connected to RxD. So double click on this pin, give your name RxD. After that you have to double click on this COM pin and you have to select the baud rate is 9600 and click on here also 9600 and click on OK. So in this way you have completed the circuit part of this project. Now if you want to give the box like I have given in my circuit, like this one, then you can go to this square box, then click on pin and give here square box, draw the square box. And if you want to give the name, so go to the A and go to the pin and type here name serial. So for each circuit you can type the name like this, and if you want to increase the size, go to this arrow, select this, double click on this and you can increase the size. You can give italic font, you can give any other font, and you can see this name is appear here. So in this way you can able to complete all the circuit part. I have explained each and every step. So at the starting you can see you will see all this default source code. Just click on select all the source code and delete, and once you delete you can start writing your source code here. I have already written my source code. I will open that one. So this is the source code. We will see importance of each and every line from this source code. There are two code. First code is our protest code, and second code is our Python code, which is used to send the image on the mail ID. So first we see the each and every line from the protest code. So first line is import time. So basically if you want to generate some delay in your code, then you require this time library. The next is import OS. So if there is any OS operation, then you require this library. Then import Raspberry Pi.gpio as GPIO. So basically if you want to use any GPIO pin in your Raspberry Pi project, so you require this library. Import PIO, import port. So basically these two library used for the serial communication. Now next line is port.uart. So if you want to use the serial communication, you have to define the variable that is the presence of that port, and to define that presence you have to use this line. And with this pi.uart, this is a variable, and with this variable we can access this port. Now next line is gpio.setMode GPIO board. Basically Raspberry Pi works as a two method, a Raspberry Pi board or Raspberry Pi BSIM chip. So if you want to use as a Raspberry Pi complete board, you can use this line. Now gpio.set warning to the false. Whenever you run this code and on the actual hardware, then Raspberry Pi gives you warning that whatever the GPIO pin you have used is already used before. So to avoid that warning, you should use this line. Now next line is LCD RS to the 7 enabled to the 11, then D4 to 12, D5 to 13, D6 to 15, D7 to 16. So why this? Because in schematic you can see our RS pin is connected to GPIO 4, and GPIO 4 pin is nothing but the 7 number pin of Raspberry Pi. So that we have given RS pin to the 7. With the same logic, enable pin to the 11. So you can see 11 enable pin is connected to GPIO 17, and GPIO 17 is connected to Raspberry Pi 11. So that we have given here LCD enable is equal to 11. With the same logic we have defined all the pins here, and after that there is some delay. This is constant. We will use this constant later. Now next part is we have to define all the pin as an input or output. So basically LCD pin act as the output pin, so that we have defined all the LCD pin as an out pin with this logic, and PIR pin act as the input pin. So if you want to define any pin as input or output, you require this line gpio.setup, then pin number, then input gpio.input if this is input pin, and if this is output pin, then gpio.out. LCD is out pin, PIR sensor is in pin, buzzer is out pin. With this logic we have defined all the functionality of this pin. Some device what is the length of your LCD, that is it is 16 by 2 LCD. So that we have selected here LCD width is 16. Then character to LCD command is called. We will see the use of this variable later. Then line number 1 is 18, line number 2 is C0. So if you want to send some signal on LCD on first line, that is 16 by 2, there are two rows, first row and second row. So if you want to send on first row, you can use this syntax LCD 80, and if you want to send some signal, that is some message on second row, you can send C0. So we will see later what is use of this variable. So first line whatever is executed in program is LCD init function. So you can see LCD init function is here. So here first one is LCD init function. In LCD init function we have to send some command so that our LCD gets work. So this command is nothing but start the LCD, take the initial to first row only, message should be printed on first row only. All this command, you can see all this command, and you will see you will get details of this command on Google. You can search the LCD command, you can easily find the importance of each and every command. So main important part of this is how to send this LCD command from Raspberry Pi on your LCD. So there is function lcd.byte. Then you have to pass the command and LCD command. So the LCD command is nothing but the variable we have declared already here, LCD command to the false. So we will see this what is this function. So LCD command, it is jump to this LCD byte. Then after that here is select gpio.output. LCD RS pin mode. So what is mode? We have sent here mode as a LCD command, so means this is the command mode. So whenever there is a command mode, you have to select RS pin, and that RS pin should be the Raspberry Pi should send the 0 signal on that RS pin. So you can see LCD command mode, this is variable, and this variable has a value false. So whenever you are sending the command on LCD, you have to send RS to 0, that is RS 0 signal on RS pin. So that we have already created function LCD byte send command, and LCD command, this is nothing but 0 automatically send on RS pin with this function gpower.output LCD RS to 0. Then after that we have to send the data. So data is nothing but this is a 8 byte of data. You can see this is 8 byte of data, but in our schematic we use the 4 byte pin, 4 pin. So we have to segregate our data into 4 byte, so that we use another logic. So once this signal 33 number sent to LCD byte, it comes here. Then first part is set the command as a command mode. Then gpower.output, all these our 4 pins should be selected to false by default. D4, D5, D6, D7 should be the false. This means that the 0 signal sent on the LCD D4, D4, D5, D6, D7 by default. Then next line is if bits ending with 0, 1, 0, that is higher byte is equal to 1, 0. So let's say this is 33 number. So first we have to send the 33 number, 33 data or command on LCD. So in 33 we have to first aggregate the higher byte first and then lower byte first. So you can see this is our higher bytes and this is our lower byte. So from the higher byte we have to send the D4 first. So to send the D4 byte first, we have to masking with 1, 0. So after masking with 1, 0, you can see the D4 bits get 1 value. So if that value is 1, then we have to send 1 signal on D4. So that 1 again shifted to the D5, then again masking with 2, 0. And if the value is 2, 0, then we have to send the 1 signal on 5th number of LCD bit. So this logic applied to each and every pin, D6 and D7. So once this higher bits get executed, send on LCD, we have to shift the same logic to the lower bits. So again lower bits we have to send D4 first, then D5, D6 and D7. But in that case the masking is 0 cross 0, 1. So we will see the code. So first we are sending 33, then the LCD bytes get here, then 33 mode is command because we are sending command. Then gpower.output LCD RS pin to the mode, that is mode is command, that is 0. That means 0 signal send on the RS pin. Then by default we have to send the 0 signal on each and every pin, D4, D5, D6, D7. After that we are checking is first bit masking with 1, 0 is equal to 1, 0. If 1, 0, then we have to send D4 to the true. If that is not equal to 1, 0, then we have to already send false signal from here. Then second bytes from the higher bits 2, 0. If this value is 2, 0 after masking, then we have to send D5 to true. Then third byte 4, 0, then D6 to true, and then last byte D7 byte. If we are masking is 8, 0, then we have to send D7 to true. If any of this condition false, then we already send the false signal. So once you send the higher signal, you have to toggle the enable pin. So to toggle the enable pin, we are using this logic LCD toggle enable. So in that logic, we have to pass the high-low signal on the enable pin. So to pass the high-low signal, this is the logic time.sleep. First we are sending some delay, then gpower.output enable pin to a true. So it will send the high signal on enable pin, then time.sleep to the pulse, then it is sending some time sleep, then gpower.output LCD enable pin to a false, it is sending the 0 signal on LCD enable pin, then after some delay, so it will toggle the pin. So once you send the higher bits, we have to send the lower bits again. So same logic will apply. First we have to send the 0 signal on each and every pins D4, D5, D6. Then again masking with 0, 1. So in this case is 0, 1. We are first masking with 1, 0 because it's higher bit, and this is the lower bit because this is lower bit. We have to send 0, 1. So if the value is 0, 1, then we have to send LCD D4 pin to the true value. Same for the D5, D6, D7. So in this case we are sending the data on LCD pin. After sending the data lower bits, we have to again toggle the pin with a toggle function. So this is the basic idea behind how to send the data on LCD. So once LCD get initialized, the next part is we have to send the welcome function, welcome message on LCD line number 1. So we have already defined LCD line number 1 variable, which is nothing but the 0 value. So LCD dot string welcome. So welcome is nothing but the array. So each array is divided into again 1 byte with their index. So index 0 contain W, index 1 contain E, L contain second index, then C. So this iteration we will do with by the for loop. So first go to the LCD string function. So inside LCD string function there is a message that is welcome and line is line number 1. So first we have to calculate the width of that message with this function. So once you calculate the width, we have to tell LCD that this message has to print on line number 1 by using this command, line command. So line command get execute with LCD byte. Same logic will execute. Then next is we have to iterate the welcome message. To iterate the welcome message, we will use for loop for I in the range of LCD width. So I is not starting with 0 and it incrementing 1 2 3 4 till LCD width. What will be the length of this message? So let's say first I is equal to 0. So LCD byte function get execute with parameter message of I. So I is 0, then message of I is 0, nothing but the W. Then LCD character. Then we are passing the character to the LCD byte, so that LCD with so that RS pin set to 1, and then our message get print. Once the W is sent on the LCD, we have to send the E. So I increment to 1, then E will send, and same with the same logic, all the message send on the LCD. Now once the welcome message printed on the LCD, next part is we have to print theme detection system message on the LCD. So if you want to print that message, you require this line LCD string and then pass the string. Now next part is time.sleep. There is some delay, then while 1. So whatever the line inside that while 1, it will execute infinite number of time. So first line is gpio.input to the pin number. So if you want to access any input, that Raspberry Pi want to access any input from the sensor, then it will use this line gpio.input then pin number. So pin number is PIR pin. So once the PIR sensor detect the 1 signal, then PIR data variable gets 1 signal. Then if the PIR data variable gets the true signal, that is 1 signal, then we have to turn on the buzzer. So to turn on the buzzer, we have to send the 1 signal on the buzzer pin. So to send the 1 or 0 signal on any pin, we have to use this line gpio.output pin name and true or false. True means 1, false means 0. Buzzer, we have to turn on the buzzer, so we have used true, and with this logic we will turn on the buzzer. Now there is some delay. Now next part is we have to print the tape detector message on the LCD. So to print the message on LCD, we will use this line LCD string tape detector. Before that there is LCD byte 01 LCD command. So it is used to clean the LCD, then print the message, then some delay, then PIR.UART print A. So once the PIR sensor detect any input, then we have to send the A signal to the Python program, so that once the Python program detect the A signal, it will capture the image. So to send the A signal from the UART communication, we will use this line PIR.UART print and then pass the A. And if the PIR sensor has the 0 input, that is person is not detected, then we have to turn off the buzzer. So turn off the buzzer, again we will use this line, same line with the false signal, then some print the message on this LCD. Then after that we have to send the B signal, so that our Python program will not capture the image, so that PI.UART print B. So this is the logic behind this code, Proteus code. Now we will see the logic behind the Python code. Now we will see importance of each and every line from this Python code. So first we will see how to create this code. So if you want to create this any code in Python program, just go to the start bar and type here Python. So once you type Python, you can see this IDLE will open. Double click on this IDLE. So after that, go to the file and click on new file. So in this file you can write your own program. So I have already written my program. I will open that one and we can check that one. So first line is from my program is smtplib library, then image dr library, then email library. So all these library are basically used to capture the image and send the image on the mail ID. Import CV also used to capture the image. Now import serial, it is used for communication between the Proteus program and your Python program. Now next line is serial.serial comp1. So basically we have created the virtual comp one by using our VPSP software, and to access that virtual comp port we will use this line. And once the comp port is accessed, then it will create variable, and with this variable we will access the function of this serial library. Now next line is camera CV2 capture 0. So basically it will create one object for our camera. So CV2 video capture, and 0 means your laptop camera. If you pass here 1, then it will select the USB camera. So I will pass 0, then it will camera object is created, then I is equal to 0. So for the 10 times we have some time, for 10 times I will increment, and with the time if the image is not captured, then again it will start the program. So while is 0, while is less than 10, next part is print, waiting for the serial input. So once you run the code, you will get this message waiting for serial input. That means it is waiting for the PR sensor detect PR sensor data. So once the PR sensor capture the image, PR sensor detect the one signal, then this s.read function read that value from the Proteus software, and that value store into serial data. And if that value is 1, if the serial data is value is 1, then we have to print theft detected sending image on the mail message on our screen. Then after that we have to capture the image. To capture the image, this is two line which is used to capture the image. So first line is capture the image, next line is we have to give the name of that image. So to give the name we will use this line, CV2 image write OpenCV PNG image. So OpenCV is nothing but the image name. You can rename this. Next we will increment I by 1. Next line is sender email ID, receiver email ID. So who wants to send, that email ID comes here, and who wants to receive, that email ID comes here. So I have given my both email ID. First is sender email ID, then second is receiver email ID. Then password. In this password you have to only provide the sender email ID password. Now it is very important, when you run this code it will give you error that your password email ID will not access. So how to solve that error? You have to first open my this document, document from my Google Drive link. So once you open, go to this link, http google.com settings security lesson, this one. Then once you open this link, so once you open this link, you have to first sign off into your email ID. So click on this sign up button. So pass your email ID and password. So let's say I will pass my email ID. Then you have to pass the password also. Then after that you have to in security in lesson secure app access you have to turn on. So once you turn on, then and then only your mail ID can be accessed by this Python program. Otherwise you will get error like your email ID not able to access. So this is a very important step. Now next line is new message email. So new email message, it is a function, and we will create the object of that function. Now with this object we will access different function of this email message package. Now next line is new image subject. So what should be the subject of your image? You should write here. Now from email ID to receive email ID. New set content. So what you want to set the content, that is the body of your image. Email should be here. Now next part is with OpenCV image. So once the body is there, then we have to send the once the body you attach, then we have to send the attachment as our capture image, that is OpenCV image, in our mail ID. So how to send that image in mail ID? For this is the logic. First we have to open the image with this line, then with this line we have to send the image. So to send the image, first we will open with these three lines, then image store into image name, then with this attachment we will attach our image. Now with below these three lines we will send our whatever the capture image on the receiver mail ID. So this is the basic idea behind your code. So I hope you understand, and that step is very important to activate your this one, less secure app should be on, then and then only your program will be run. Now next part we will see how to run your code. First you have to download all my files. Like first you have to download all my files, all this file from my Google Drive link. I will upload the Google Drive link in the description. So once you download all this file, go to the open project. So once you go to the open project, go to the downloaded files. So you can see I will open that file. Then after that you have to select this one, theft detection system Proteus file, project file, then click on open. So once you click on open, you will find the ready-made solution of this Proteus file. Then you have to load, first you have to load the X file, it is very important. Then next part, okay, first you have to open the VSP software. So double click on here, then this is the trial version. So uh, ignore this one also. So once you open VSP, go to the device, click on create. So once you click on create, go to the connect, select connector, click on next, then select COM1, select emulator baud rate option, click on finish. So you can see COM1 is there, click on OK, run, and you can see COM1 is initialized, that means virtual COM port is running. Now next part is you have to open the Proteus Python file. So go to this Python 3.9, double click here, then go to the file, then go to the open. So once you go to the open, again go to the downloaded folder, then here you can see this file you have to open, theft detection send image email, and click on open. So once you click on open, this file will be open. Now first part is you have to run this code. So go to the run and click on run module. So if there is no error and your laptop has internet connection, then waiting for input serial message print on this ideally. Now go to the Proteus and click on here. Now if the Proteus doesn't have any error, then you can see welcome message, then your project name also present on the LCD, and then it will wait for the PR sensor input. And if I give the one signal to PR sensor, then buzzer should start. And after that you have to go to the Proteus file again in the IDLE, and you can see theft detected sending image on the mail. If this message is there, then your software is working very fine and very perfectly.